Good evening, all. I hope everyone is doing well today. So, today I will be taking you all through our course. My name is Rachel Krajna. I've been teaching English here at SNHU for over 5 years now. I've taught at multiple universities, and I have also taught English composition for the last 10 years at different colleges here in New York. But today I really would like to go through our course for English 130 just to help with course navigation, get you all used to it. Now, a little caveat here, it might look a little different for me because I am a professor. I am not able to preview what it looks like for students on Brightspace. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can also look at my bio that I have posted. I always post lots of announcements. I'll try to keep in touch via email. But please keep in mind that you do need a textbook for our course, and I'll be going through that. But the learning modules is really where we're going to start today. And I definitely recommend going through the course, getting used to the navigation. So the Start Here button can be really helpful. It gives you all of the syllabus, the course map, all sorts of tutorial videos, some guides for students. And another thing that I would recommend is checking out the assignment information. It gives you all of the guidelines and rubrics that we adhere to at SNHU for English 130, including the project guidelines that sort of acts as our final exam for the course. So English 130 is a lot of foundations of writing. We talk a lot about writing and the basis of communication, academic writing genres, thinking about yourself as a writer, and reading strategies. So this is the Module 1 introduction. So what we'll be talking about in terms of our learning objectives is identifying different genres of writing, explaining the content of a text, identifying the historical or the context. So we're going to be talking a lot about stuff that we all remember from high school, especially in like high school English courses. Audience, thinking about genre, thinking about tailoring our writing for specific tasks. I have worked as a writer for over 10 years now, and I work in marketing as well, so we are always thinking about stuff like this. The module at a glance, read the student's guide for the module, review the required resources, participating in the discussion by Thursday for an initial post, and then 2 reply posts by Sunday, and I usually grade accordingly. Please keep in mind that discussion boards, I prefer not to take them late. Complete the reading response, look ahead how to do well in Module 2 and Module 7. So this is sort of our overview, the Module 1 guide, using critical reading strategies, right? Different reading strategies that we want to use, especially in an English course, identifying a context, a writer's purpose, the core ideas, quotes that can support our core ideas. So this is the introduction of required resources. Read the following sections of Chapter 1. Think of writing as a process. Think of yourself as a writer. How to write anything. Talks more about genre and context. And then talking about the active reading process. And how to write anything is also assigned for Chapter 20. This is really important here. These are the 3 main articles. So this is very important to keep in mind in terms of choosing an article. Once you choose an article, we will use that for the whole semester, for the whole course. So once you choose an article, definitely be sure to stick with it. So one of them is Beat the Clock. One of them is about time management, work-life balance, especially in the time of COVID and the pandemic. We really do like to talk about these things. The second one is about stress and anxiety, how to relieve those different things, setting healthy expectations. That one is Take a Break. And then the third one is The Era of Happy Tech Workers is Over. This video is great too for critical rating strategies, and I include a few in our weekly announcements as well. Keep in mind, this is our first discussion, so possible points, it's 50 points. And this is our prompt here. So definitely feel free to introduce yourself. I would love to know more about you. Definitely be sure to share some of your personal reading experiences. What is a single reading experience that has lasting impressions on you? Do you read anything for fun? Share some of your academic reading experiences with your classmates. And then for the response posts, we do look at that. And the discussion rubric is down here as well. But yeah, that is the beginning of our course. And you can also find the discussions under the discussion tab. And if you have any general questions, feel free to post in here. I'll answer as soon as possible. And then, of course, you can find the different discussions down here. And then if you want to begin, you can start a new thread. And that'll allow you to create your own thread. And also, if you want to say you want to reply to someone, you can go in and reply and hit the reply button. So yeah, that is some of our course navigation. And then, like I said, announcements will usually be found in here. I do try to publish my announcements, usually try to push them at least twice a week. But I will go back to our learning modules for a sec and show you all the textbook. So usually for the textbook, it has to be, I think the codes have to be redeemed through the bookstore website. The SNHU bookstore website has its own support system. They are able to assist with access codes if you need any help or any sort of like financial aid. Definitely get in touch with your advisor. They are usually your best resource for those sorts of things. If you need any accommodations for the course, feel free to email me as soon as possible about that. And I can help you out a bit with that too. I can talk about different academic resources if you need them. But for the textbook, might have to actually be accessed through the guide here for students. Yeah. Okay, so like this is chapter 1. And it should hopefully, once you have your textbook code redeemed, it should open up into the ebook. And this is sort of like the first chapter here. So understanding academic writing. So talking more about academic writing, and a lot of students definitely tend to overthink, especially when it comes to like their first year of writing. Using the online writing center is such a great resource. I definitely highly recommend it. Think of writing as a process, okay? That's like a huge thing, especially for college and onwards. Thinking about what genre we're writing in. We're writing academic context, right? So claiming a topic, using your audience, gathering materials, choosing a style and a design. Think of yourself as a writer can be very helpful too. But that is the second chapter there. And of course, the active reading process. Reading and writing go hand in hand, right? So we definitely always want to recommend taking notes, especially active listening. It's the same thing, it's active reading. So making sure to take notes, especially on things you're reading. The steps in the reading process. So this can be really helpful, especially during reading, especially when we're going to be taking notes on our articles and talking about different aspects of the articles that we're working with. Annotation can be really helpful, highlighting, reading graphic aids, reading marginal notes, and then post reading. So reasons to read. And lastly, our chapter 20. This is just the assignments that I'm talking about for module 1, week 1. So smart reading. We always want to work smarter, not harder, right? That's definitely something to keep in mind. Reading closely, using our different reading and writing strategies that we're going to be talking about this whole semester. Reading to deepen what you already know. You already know quite a bit, especially if we read all the time, even if it's just writing an email, writing for our job, writing for different tasks, writing on social media. All of those, we are exposed to different genres all the time. So, reading above your level of knowledge, reading against the grain, reading slowly, and annotating what you read. I cannot stress how helpful it can be for students to annotate when you read. It can be very extremely helpful, especially if we're going in depth. And we're going to be doing a lot of like textual analysis with our articles, right? So, writing can be messy. We're going to talk about rough drafts. We're going to talk about every writer begins with a messy rough draft all the time. That's just simply part of the creative process. And then going into our final draft, and we'll do peer review at one point in the semester. We'll talk about that. And I will try to give you all the tools that you need to know, especially when it comes to academic writing. But that is pretty much our overview for right now. So, keeping in mind what we need to complete for this week, I'll go ahead and go back into the Module 1 introduction. So, like I said, reading the student's guide for the module, reviewing the resources, participating in the discussion, completing the reading response, look ahead at how to do well in Modules 2 and 7. And in order to get into our assignments, we go into our assignments tab, and then the reading response, interviewing the text. And then usually that can be submitted through there. I definitely highly recommend submitting PDF or Word file. I cannot open page files because I work with Windows, so please do keep that in mind. And again, making sure your discussion posts are posted on our discussion board, submitting things in the right place could be a very important aspect, especially of our entirely online environment. But I will try to keep in touch with videos and emails throughout the semester. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up for now. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. All right, thanks all. Bye.